Jay Gruden joining us for a few minutes, the new offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. Jay, thanks for the time. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good, Coach Gruden. This is Mike Bianchi. Congratulations on the new gig.
Oh, thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate it.
Coach, you've always been one who was content in Orlando, whether you were coaching the Arena League, whether you were coaching the UFL. You always seemed to like what you were doing at the time and never really marketed yourself, never pushed for bigger jobs in the NFL. What made you decide to finally take the leap?
Well, obviously the struggles we had in UFL here with the Florida Tuskers and then us moving to Virginia Beach. And then there's some uncertainty with the league and the future of the league. I thought it was time to put my name in the hat and see what I could come up with. And luckily I got 3 or 4 interviews and met with Coach Lewis, and he offered me the coordinator job. It was a chance for me to install the offense. And great opportunity, man. I couldn't pass it up, being that I finally had to move out of Florida regardless, so I thought I might as well go somewhere else.
Coach, did the whole UFL experience, obviously your past was in the Arena League. Did coaching outdoor football as a head coach and offensive coordinator in the UFL, would you have been able to get this gig without that?
I don't think so. It was a great experience. A lot of people, have their problems with the UFL and very negative towards the league, but it's a great developmental league, not only for players but for coaches. We have to put together a team. We have to manage personalities and players and get them all in here to buy into a system and reach a common goal. And it was a great experience. And we had about 3 weeks of training camp to install a lot of offense. And when you're up there installing in front of a bunch of guys, you have to get them to buy in. You have to get them to perform. You have to get them to detail their routes and combinations. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot. I learned what not to do, what to do. And, of course, Coach Haslett taught me a lot from the defensive side of the ball, and Chuck Bresnahan. Those are 2 outstanding coaches that I had to learn from on defense also. And, of course, I had a great offensive staff. And it was a great overall experience just managing games and calling plays from the sideline. And obviously I wouldn't have had a chance to interview for the Bengals unless I did that.
Coach, I've always thought that you would be an excellent NFL offensive coordinator, college head coach, whatever you wanted to do. Did you entertain any college situations?
I did not. Things were going okay for us at the time. And I've been out of college since 1989. 1990, I was a graduate student assistant at Louisville, and that's the last time I was in college. So the recruiting rules and all that is such a foreign experience for me that I didn't really pursue any college jobs, and the recruiting process is something brand new to me. I think I would enjoy it, but I think the NFL, if I was going to make a step at the next level, I think I would pursue the NFL. That's what I did.
Coach, the players you've coached in the past in the Arena League, the UFL, they've mostly been up-and-comers, hungry players, probably guys with a little ego. Now you're going into the league where there are a lot of egos, and on your team there are a lot of egos. How's that going to be different for you?
That'll be different. I've had egos, just at a different level. Barry Wagner had a big ego.
Okay.
And, we had Dominic Rose. We've had some egos we have to deal with, but obviously nothing to the extent that I'm probably walking into. The one thing that I think that I've been able to handle my whole career is different personalities, and I know no 2 people are the same. And I welcome the challenge. I know it's going to be a great challenge. It's not going to be easy, but it's something that I've decided to do, and I'm going to do the best that I can to handle everybody and treat everybody fairly and give them a great opportunity to succeed. And I think once I start installing the offense, I hope that everybody will buy in and get excited about it.
Talking to Coach Jay Gruden, the new offensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals. Coach Gruden, obviously the big story up in Cincinnati during the offseason has been Carson Palmer and his disenchantment with the franchise. Have you had a chance to talk to Carson yet, and what are your plans going forward with him?
I have not. I'm planning on moving up there Monday myself, so I'll get that opportunity, I'm sure, sooner than later. If I have to fly out to San Diego where he lives, I'm sure I'll have that opportunity. But obviously our offense will be a lot better with Carson. He's a great quarterback, and we know great quarterbacks don't grow on trees. So we're going to do everything in our power as a staff to convince him to come back. He's a great competitor, had a tough year last year, and I think he's just a little frustrated right now with the situation he's been in. But we have to make sure that we convince him that this is a place to play. And we're going to do everything we can to protect him and put him in a great situation to succeed as a quarterback. And hopefully he'll come back because I think he's a special quarterback.
Is it difficult to put together an offense with this team right now, considering that everybody knows there might be a lockout in the NFL? We don't know what players might be returning to every team. How difficult does that make it for your job in going forward?
It's very difficult, to be honest. And, the whole staff from Cincinnati was there last year. They're returning offensively. So not only the players but the coaches, I have to teach the coaches first the new terminology and the new system, and I got to sell them, number one. Once I sell them, hopefully that'll work out. Then they can start individually teaching their players once the lockout's over, and hopefully the lockout doesn't last very long because we're going to need every minute that we have to install this, because it is a totally different system than anything they've ever been running the last 10 years at Cincinnati. So we need all the time we can, and I am concerned about the lockout, no doubt. I'll have to taper back, obviously, depending on how much time we have. But, that's the greatest challenge that I have at hand right now.
Do you own a good winter coat?
You know what? I doubt I'll be outside a lot. I think I'll probably go from the garage to office for a long time until practice starts, and then it'll be summertime. So I'll be all right.
Coach, we know from your brother about the NFL grind. Or 3:17 a.m., is that your new get-up time?
No, I can't do that. I told Coach Lewis, I said, if you're expecting John Gruden, don't hire me. I'm Jay Gruden. I'm a different guy. I'll get up early and I'll put my hours in, there's no doubt, but 3:17 is a little early for me. But if I have to, I know early on it's going to be tough to install the offense and draw up all the plays for everybody. I might start out that early, but I doubt I can make it that far.
Jay, let me ask you this. It seemed like when you were in Orlando with the Predators and the Tuskers, you liked being in charge. And in fact, you told me that one time. You liked being the guy that called the shots, that kind of got the players. Are we to assume now that this is your first step toward hopefully becoming an NFL head coach someday?
We'll see. I have a long way to go. My first step right now, I'm just taking one day at a time. My first step is to try to get organized and sell the coaches that are there already in place. They've done some good things at Cincinnati over the years. They won a division 2 years ago, and they got a great offensive staff. So step one for me is to install this offense. And whatever happens after this, I want the Bengals to succeed. After that, we'll see what happens. But Mr. Brown and Coach Lewis were very gracious, and they're taking a big risk in hiring me. So I have to make sure the risk is paid off with some success offensively, and that's my number one objective right now.
Jay, I got to tell you, when you were hired yesterday, I called up the Cincinnati Bengals official team website, and it had the big announcement of you being hired. But underneath that big announcement, there was a column that I'd written. And it said,
yeah, that was awesome, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you don't write many positive columns
yeah.
about people.
And it said, and it said Orlando's best kept secret, and it talked about how great you were and how some NFL team ought to snap you up. And I got to ask you, what sort of commission am I getting from that big NFL salary you're going to be making?
I'll tell you, I owe you, man, but I think we're about even because of all the negative things you wrote about my brother. Yeah, I think we're about even now.
You know what? I think if you send Mike a nice Cincinnati Bengals T-shirt.
No, Bengals golf.
I could do that.
Bengals golf shirt. Coaching
golf
shirt.
You want the stripes?
Yeah.
All right, you got it. I'll make sure I send that to you when I get there.
Cool. He is Jay Gruden, new offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. He will do an excellent job and be an even better NFL offensive coach than his brother. That's my prediction.
Thanks, Mike.
Jay, thanks for joining us.
All right, Matt. Thanks a lot.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.